All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. All right, so let's get started, shall we? Got this kind of set up right there for the moment, and while we're kind of getting adjusted here, I'd like to thank all of you for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. And I have it set up here on, this is our thumbnail, and right here you can clearly see on this side over here our wraparound effect, our silhouetting of our round spheroid object right here. Okay, lots of plasma came off the sun, reached out to the other satellites, a couple of different ones that were orbiting this bigger object right here. Okay, and then we'll go through this frame by frame here. And first, let me just put this into motion here, and you can see that we had quite the X-flare there, and that was eclipsed by the sun. It went off the, well, kind of the side. It wasn't cleared the limb yet, and we still experienced a X2.9 out of it, which says it was much stronger than that. So that's one of the biggest ones I've seen in a while. And when we get it draped all the way over the object like that, that's a lot of plasma. Also, this event down here, watch as this sun diving comet aims for this and disappears. It wasn't diving towards the sun, it was diving towards this object here. So we're traveling through space past these objects. This comet's coming at this object just as we're going by. Okay, because that didn't look like a sun diver. Usually sun divers aim towards the sun. Anyways, very interesting how that one kind of aimed for that spot right as something was coming out of there. So I'm going to pause it on our opening frame here when it comes back around. And then we'll dissect this frame by frame here. All right, let's back up just a few here. You can see as we start off our day here, 024. This is May 27th, 2024. Okay, and then let me just get a little bit more of that button. There we go. Opening frame here. You can see we already have this tail end of this event going on right here with something else maybe following right in there. Right here. Okay, so we have a big black spheroid object out there. You can't see it yet until this plasma drapes over it. In this frame here, you can see sticking out right here is one of the little satellites. There's another one down here, one over in here. And then as we go to this next, oh, I loved Captain Caveman when I was a kid. Boom. There's our next frame. And here you can totally see perfect asymmetric or perfect symmetry for our round spheroid object being right there. Okay, this is much like the other blast that we saw where we saw the object in black. But here it's draped with so much plasma that it blinds the camera. Yet look how the instrumentation is reacting to the perfect arc, perfect circle right here. This is reacting to a little satellite right here, bending around it. But our sphere is right there, going off the screen a little bit. And then here in one of these ghost images, you can see this flow coming off the top. Here is our black circle right there. All right, and then this is reacting, this is all dark, it's reacting to the little satellites that are around this bigger object right there. And you can see the spread. You can see the magnetic field is a little bit wider for the bigger object, so this spread is a lot further. It ripped off so much plasma there that that was a huge blast. A lot of plasma was ripped off the sun there because of the magnetic field of that object. That magnetic field from that thing is so, the thing is so big, and there's the magnetic field so strong that it just latches onto the sun. Even the satellites that rotate around it have magnetic fields of their own. Look at this comet headed right for this. Bing. And then the CME wipes it out. Or it made contact or something with that object, maybe. All right, so let me go through that one more time. And then we'll pause one more time on the structure. Here you can kind of see it in black right there with all kinds of plasma streaking over it, okay? So here it is in black, but what I want to do, see if we can pop this image up real quick, just a quick comparison. I should have done it real before the show here, but this one right here. Okay, we have this same, it looks to be probably the same object, same little system or whatever, passing on the other side of the sun, or we're passing it on the other side. But here you can see this wispy flow coming off the top here. That's one of the giveaways right there. It's like a little indicator. And here you can see it wisping off the top right here. and even going past some of these little satellites that are right here, and there's plasma streaking off of them. And then if we go back just a few more real quick to this image, right there, that round spheroid is just like this, but in white because it has so much plasma draped over it. Okay, so that X flare that we just experienced was caused by one of our bigger objects right here. Okay, and over on this side, you can see the little moons, the little satellites, tearing some of this plasma, dividing it up in these branches. Some's reaching out to this one right here, some's reaching out to that. It's getting pulled and torqued around, and just very strange configuration right here. But over on this side, you can see there's our object right there. Okay, now most people don't report on this. They are looking at the light. They're looking at all this plasma here. They're looking at these big old things and go, wow, look at all that. What they don't see is it's blatantly obvious, the round structure right there. You can even see this little moon right here. We'll go in on that a little bit. I want you to see kind of what I'm talking about here. Well, that's good enough. But you can see this backside going back through here, little satellite sticking out through the plasma. All right, let me back out of that. And then last night when we were reporting on this, when it first happened, there wasn't any data out there yet, but that's what happened. There's our object right there. And usually there's like 3 of these things in a row. So we'll probably have a couple more big old round structure type events here in the next couple of days. I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong, but that's the way it seems to have been happening these last few times. All right, so there's your event there. And that was this X 2.9 from last night that we reported on. And then since then, it came, slowed down. We had a few bumps here and there, whatever, but nothing like that one big blast right there, okay? So that's an indicator that, well, we're going to probably have a lot more of this activity, unfortunately. Now, our indices are going back up now. We're up to 170. Okay, so we're way down here, 150, the indices had lowered. Now we're way back up here again. So we're at 170 and climbing. This one's starting to climb too as well. Our X flare potential went up to 25% finally. Now you can see why. All right, so last night this was labeled 3664. So its new designation is 3697. Okay, so that new sunspot region, the ones that we have to worry about are 91 and now 97. And they're not showing the configuration yet because it probably hasn't rounded enough yet to find out, but it's probably beta, gamma, delta as well. All right, it has to be in order to kick out an X 2.9. So it may have sloughed off now that it did the interaction with the object. So this may have sloughed back down because it did its interaction already. So just going over here to KP real quick, just underneath 3. So we're not taking on too much energy, which is good. We don't need to be absorbing anymore. Auroras are really faint right now. That's good. We're not taking on any solar storms right now. So that's good. Now let's get into this article here. This is old region 64, still active. Of course it is. An X 2.9 solar flare was observed around the returning region 708. The event is also responsible for an energetic coronal mass ejection, now emerging in an updated coronagraph imagery. Because the sunspot region is still located behind the east limb, the flare itself was likely stronger than a 2.9 measurement, just like I was saying. The CME itself should be directed away from our planet, and we may see some busy days ahead of us. Stay tuned. All right, beautiful images and stuff right here. Everybody's looking close up at the sun. J-Poss, I'm glad you're here, bud. I was wondering when you're going to get over here. I'm glad you're here. So hop on in, get comfortable, grab your soda, your snacks, and let's go. So while everybody's busy looking up at this plasma that's up close and stuff here to the sun, they're missing this much further back perspective where you get to see the much bigger object right here. Yeah, this real stuff, J-Poss. That's your nemesis, and well, a bunch of little satellite moons going around. The bigger one is well, the winged planet Nibiru or whatever. All kinds of different names. So, oh, that's a good one, Thomas. That was a good one. Sorry, I'm interacting with my chat. I like to sometimes. All right, so here's our round stellar core, whatever we're going to call it. Here, just hanging out past the sun here. Ripped off a bunch of plasma, caused our X2.9 there. And then 64 set to return the source of the 12X class solar flares. All right, the thing hasn't even crested the limb. And we're at X flare number 1. And it wasn't like an X1. It wasn't just barely squeaking out an X flare. This was a 2.9, and that's from the side. You saw how big. Look at this. This is probably an X10 or something like that. That's a huge, huge blast right there. So if it was facing us, we would be in some. We'd be having a different conversation right now. Anywho, let's continue on. I want to open up the tracker, do a little crack-lacking here. Now they're showing this big blast here moving away. Well, if they would show us the blast moving away, heading down this direction. We're not even getting clipped by it, thankfully. So that's good. Because an impact like that we had one of those a couple weeks ago from this sunspot, and it produced the historical geomagnetic storm. All right, so here it comes again. Everybody hold on. We're done there. Yes, let's get on over to the spaceweather.com and get that one busted out of here. Oh, wait, they may not have updated this one. Yeah, this is return of a historic sunspot. It's back. Sunspot 64, the source of historic May 10th superstorm, has spent the past 2 weeks transitioning the far side of the sun. Today it announced its impending return with a 2.9 solar flare. All right, so the flare was probably even stronger than a 2.8. The base of the explosion was eclipsed by the edge of the sun, so not all the X-rays it produced were counted by the sensors. The explosion caused a deep shortwave magnetic radio blackout over East Asia, hurled a bright CME into space. The NASA model confirms the CME will miss Mercury and Venus and Earth. All right, good for them. All right, let's get on over here to our Schumann. Now, last night we had these little blasts, all right? Since then, we had a little weakening right in that spot. But then we came back and started going pretty vibrant, pretty good. Let me refresh this real quick. Okay, good. So there's no new surprises here. So pressure built up. We had some grinding down at the core in the shell. It tapered off this time, because we got lots of pinholes in our balloon right now. So every time pressure builds up, it either pours out through Java, Taiwan, earthquakes, volcanoes. But then it built up really fast and started grinding again. We had a release, another buildup, and then a tapering off. Got really weak right here, but now we're kind of back to normal. So we had one of those little roller coaster ride events again, where intense frequencies, and then nothing, and then intense again, and then weak again. So the up and down roller coaster ride of, well, pain, emotional distress, or you get anxiety, some other issues come along with this. Usually, when you stop the Schumann resonance, like right in there, when it gets really weak, they found that the astronauts, when they didn't provide a Schumann resonance and there was no 7.83, that they got violent. So when there is a no, when it's really weak, our field is weak as well. That's when you see violent activity when the field is weak. When it's super, super blasted strong like this is all these frequencies hitting you really hard all at once. So uh, it's like having every radio station on the radio playing every station all at once, and then somebody comes and turns the volume full blast. And then you reach over and turn it down, and they reach over and turn it back up, and then you turn it back down. But it's a similar effect. We have all these frequencies very intensely, so it can overwhelm your, well, you get a little sensory overload sometimes. Let's just put it that way. And this is also an indicator of pressure down below. So pressure built up, then it released, built up again, released. Right now, our pressure's cruising along, not too bad. We're just going nice and normal right now, which is good. Now let's get on over to our null school here. Want to get up to our upper jet. Now, our upper jet stream has changed now a little bit. You see this blending together isn't totally smashing together. This one's still staying south. This one's kind of staying north. We're getting a little calmer zone in between. So that's good. It's not smashing together and creating the violent weather anymore. So we might get a little break now that these two troughs aren't like touching each other and, blending together and creating that hot cocktail that I talk about. Okay, so we're going to leave it right there for the moment. Wow, look at that configuration right there. Let the wind play for a second. Interesting. So Pacific Northwest, as it comes in, it shunts and goes up into Canada. Instead of coming down and going across now, we have something going, driving it up and over. That's our upper jet. Let's go down to the lower. You see our correlation there. We still have this southern fetch right along the bottom of the south of the United States right here. So it's keeping some of the storm tracks down here instead of going all the way up into the country and stuff. So this is good right there. Now, what I want to do is drop down to the weather altitude. And you can see we still have this little dynamic right here. We still have more moist air coming up against the Rockies right here, so we'll probably see some pop-ups around here in Texas and stuff. Well, the foothills of the Rockies here. So we'll start to see some pop-ups out in there maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Hopefully we get a break from the severe weather. Now, let's come on over to the particulates, pull up our sandstorm. Okay, so massive sandstorm coming off of Africa, going across the Atlantic, depositing stuff on South America. Also, we got ones up here kind of forming in Saudi Arabia. Let me take that wind down for a second. So there's one right here, one going on up there by the Caspian Sea, and then this one off the Gobi Desert still. So multiple sandstorms still going on. And then you can see that this one over here in Africa drives this stuff over. Now look at our winds. Now it's blowing it across, blowing. See this new plume right here headed towards the Caribbean? Probably next couple days, we'll start to see some of that drift up in there. You might get a little hazy skies down in this area from sand. All right. Now we'll come on over to our SO2. Take off the wind. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, half of our country is divided. We got one half bleeding out, and the other half's a little patchy, spotty here and there. And over here, you can see that our flooding has kind of receded a little bit, and now gas is coming out of the ground in those pockets that were, that were all covered up before. So now you see that we got, our pressure is a little less now. It's not as dark as it was last night, which is good. I'll take some good news for a change. It's still there, okay, but it's not as dark as it was last night. We got a few dark patches here and there. Those are our bigger, like, pinholes in the skin of the balloon that let more pressure out. So we got, regions that are still kind of concentrated. But let's come on down here. Our little region here at our fulcrum point. That one's still pretty dark, but it last night it was a big rectangle. Now it's just a little square again, and it's just these three that are pretty dominant. That one's fading, this one's fading, so a little bit of drop in pressure from last night. And then, as you can see going down the coast here, this whole region was darker purple. So it's just this short little section right now, a couple little spots right here, but from here down to here basically was all one purple band, and now it's not so bad. So you can see our pressure has lightened up a little bit. Wait for it. Let's come on over to China here. Let's adjust for their daytime. Okay. You know what? Let me see some here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Just want to make sure. All right, during their daytime, they still have a lot of pressure right there. But if we go to current, their pressure has subsided a little bit. It always kind of subsides at night when the sun's facing the planet. Just the heat itself causes expansion down below, and more gas comes out during the daytime than at night. All right, so, let's come down to Java real quick here. So it's not as dark, but we still have a lot of activity right up at this end. It's more like in the sun to straight right now instead of these two little volcanoes right here. So we have seen a little shift, a little lightening of pressure, it looks like. Probably had some releases, some good volcanic blasts and some good earthquakes that may have released some pressure. All right, now let's take a little peek over here. For those of you with queasy stomachs and don't like this part, look away. We'll try to make it short and sweet. All right, we got to make sure our calendar is I want the 26th. No. This one will let you go hours, huh? So we'll be stuck with, that says the 26th right there. That's good enough. All right, here we go. So we had a lot of hot water coming out of the bottom of the ocean floor right here off of Japan. Okay, there's a vent probably on the ocean floor creating a plume of hot water right there off the coast of Japan, where water is still kind of cool this time of year. We're not into summer quite yet as far as the calendar. So then we had this region growing out by Tamumasi and another region here that was growing. Now they've connected together, and this is just kind of turned into one big huge heat plume out here in the Pacific Ocean. And this is all volcanic activity under the water causing super, super hot water too early in the year. And then it's even changing this. Usually we still have cold water down to this region right here at this time of the year. Okay, this is the North Pacific. It's known for cold water, not warm water. So this underwater anomaly out there is warming this area up a lot faster than usual. The activity over, wait. The activity underwater over here off the coast of Africa, you see this heat plume, lots of volcanic activity under the ocean floor here, creating hot water off of the coast of Africa. Same with down here. All right. This is going to cause this whole region is already a lot hotter than it is at this time of year. It's at August temperatures already. All right. There's one little last plume of cool water in there, and that'll be gone soon. And our hurricane season is going to be well, if you guys pay attention and you listen to Mike from around the world, he has been telling you slowly but surely about hypercanes. Now, we're talking about a hurricane that could possibly be half the size of the country. It'll grow, maybe this big, and then it'll come up, address the country, come up like that and just take out that whole. We're gonna see some incredible stuff. I pray to God I am wrong, but you're looking at it, all right? Now, we're going to keep monitoring this, and what it causes when hot water and cold water mixed together, it makes one it creates a boundary. You get this nice defined boundary right here, and then let me put on the currents here. Okay, here's your La Nina effect starting to take effect here, because this is the only place where there isn't activity underneath the ocean floor, or maybe around here or something, but not right there at the equator. So that's where the cold water is intruding, is right through there. And then this is going to be quite the dynamic. Cold water merging with hot water here in the Pacific. We might see some activity out here that would, possibly go across and hit this region. So just getting very, very dicey, and prayers and prayers and prayers. And just, I hate to do this, but it's kind of important that we do this. I'm going to position this off to the side so you can see it when I pop up the calendar. Well, that's good enough. So here's 25th is what we were at today. That was the last bit of data. We'll go back 3 weeks to the 4th. Okay, you see 25th to the 4th, 3 weeks ago. Now watch this yellow area. Okay, that was 3 weeks ago what this looked like. All right, and I was reporting here at Tamumasi starting to turn yellow, and now we're starting to see some red glow out here, and it's starting to turn yellow. But that was 3 weeks ago, and now look how far it's changed since the 4th. There's the 4th. Come right down to the 25th. Ready? Okay. Boom. So a very significant increase in this plume in the last 3 weeks. Okay. Now let's get on over to our earthquake report here. You had 75 Bronco with the 302. I love those things, man. They're badass. Take the top off and get the tonneau cover, bikini top out, go cruise. All right, we have a new quake right here in our deep quake region as we kind of pull into here. And let's just light it up. This is a 5.0 down at depth. This is our deep quake right here, a 5.0 down at 577. Now, this is just now. This is a recent quake. I want to see what happened during the course of the day. So mid-range 4 there, but it's not deep. Mid-range 4 there at the surface. So we still had surface activity going on throughout the course of the day. 4.8 at 257 up there. Going into this system, mid-range 4 at 37. Another mid-range 4 at 35. Now, here we go. Off the coast of Java, this is our relief valve, right? When we were looking at Java, it wasn't very dark today because we've had an earthquake. A 5.0 at the surface, right on the boundary right there, just off of it, right on the cliff face there. Yeah, kind of. That's okay. So your energy that would have come out in volcanic form today, pressure, was released in the form of a quake right there. And that's a surface quake at 11. So bingo, there's your energy being relieved right there. Fulcrum point quake up here, 4.8 at the surface. There's more energy being released at a fulcrum point. Now, this little guy yesterday was a little deep. This one's a 4.6 at 35. Yeah, yesterday we had one. Oh, it was right in there. That was a little deeper. So 4.6 there, still a little under the surface. It's not really scrubbing energy at the top. Very quiet through this region. We have 4 volcanoes up here relieving pressure. We come over here. Let me just see what's kind of entering here. 3.4. Ooh, there's a fulcrum point quake. 3.0. What? No depth on that one. 2.9. And okay, what made it over the fulcrum? Everybody, drum roll, please. 3.2 energy heading down to California, Washington area. All right. What timestamp that is? 10:44:39. 10:44:39, please. 7:03:17. Whoops. This one was earlier than that one. So we might still have some 3 energy, well, 3.2 or less coming into the Wanda Fuca. This doesn't seem to be the energy that came over and released. This was earlier than this. So there's still a little pressure coming down through here. I want to see what's going on here. You know what we need to do now that we're over at the US? Is pop on all magnitude one day. Because I want to see some of our micro quaking here. So the geysers, look at this. The geysers that were just pouring quakes for so long, it's like quieted down. That's concerning. That was a relief valve. And when you plug up a relief valve, what happens? Pressure builds up. And maybe we just don't have all that much for it to release there, but again, here in this region in the Bay Area, it's nothing. It's a 0.8, but it indicates a path of least resistance. Okay, in the last few days, we've had a few quakes right along this stretch right here in the Bay Area. All right, so when we do see a increase in pressure and we're expecting pressure coming in, a bigger size quake, where is the question, right? Well, some of these weak spots where we continue to see activity is where. So we got to just kind of watch this and just be aware that there's a point of least resistance right here along this little zone in the Bay Area. Also down in here, not much. Okay. What do I really need to talk about? Ooh, what happened out here? This is the Searless Valley again. Just a little micro quaking out there. We had this region out here that was micro quaking, a little swarm that was a new little relief valve releasing pressure. But all in all, as I back out, you see that there's a bunch of little quakes spread out, which is fine. That's one way of relieving pressure. It's a bunch of little ones spread out. Here's a 4.2. Oh, here we go. 4.2, 3.6. 3.3, all at the surface. Oh, ho, 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 hey, hey, hey. Here's our new spot. 3.1, oh yeah. 2.5. These aren't microquakes. These are decent quakes. 2.8, 2.8, 2.7, 3.3, 3.6, and 4.2. Add up all those. That's just, 6 energy being released in that area because these aren't microquakes. It would take 100 little microquakes to relieve as much energy that just got relieved there. This is the kind of stuff I like to see because this is a lower magnitude that doesn't do damage. And you could have 400 of these 4.2s without doing a bunch of damage, and it would relieve, the pressure that would cause a magnitude 9 or a 10, something scary. So this is the kind of stuff I like to see. It's also around this volcanic feature right here. There's something going on underneath here. There's magma moving around. You see, as I pull back, you can see all the rest of this is all kind of desert, but we have this one little volcanic feature right there. And that's where we're having our quake activity. So this is good. We got a little area that's relieving pressure right there. And that's fair. These little, like the geysers has 100 little 0.8s and 7 and 1.2s and stuff like that, where you get a couple of these 4 or get a 4 with a couple of 3s backing it there. That's some energy being diffused. All right, moving on. I know I repeat myself a couple times, don't I? Sometimes multiple times. It's because nobody listens to me anymore. All right, let's get on into Hawaii here because the Pacific Rim being the rim of a bicycle, this would be the hub of the rim. So when we see pressure building, it usually comes out at the hub as well. And we can see some healthy microquaking going on here. A couple little patches right there, nothing too big, but 2.4, 2.1. Let me see the biggest one. Well, that's it right there, 2.4 right there. So a little microquaking going on in there, 2.4 being the biggest. Here's a little activity right at the top. 1.9. Just giving you a little indication that, yeah, down below here, because that's the top of the column, right? That would be the top of the perforation hole, right? So when you're getting a quake at the top of the perforation hole right there, that's telling you down below something's moving down below there. Okay, pressure is building and a little pressure release going on in that region right there currently right now. All right, so I think that covers everything here. Yeah, look how quiet this region is right now. Okay, we're all watching this very closely. A lot of pressure in this region. It's not showing, and we're not seeing enough quake activity. I wish I had access to all the instruments in this area so we could dial in much closer as to what's really going on there. But unfortunately, I don't think they want anybody hip to what's going on, or I don't think they think people will panic or whatever, but not a good area to live right now in this region because there's a lot of pressure building up in there. So we're going to see, when we see no activity like this, that means more pressure builds up, and we're going to see more of a explosive event instead of a bunch of small little ones. Pray I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I love being wrong. Okay. Most people hate being wrong. It's like their biggest pet peeve is to be wrong. Shoot, I love being wrong, but sometimes I'm not. No, we're right, and lives are lost. That's why it's important we cover this stuff. So, all right, now let's get into here. Samaru 14,000. All right, we're seeing it at 15 at its max a lot lately. It's dropped 1,000 feet. That's a little reduction in pressure. Dacono 10,000 feet. That's where we're seeing pressure right there. Popocatépetl, 19, but it was pushing 20 and 21, so that's a slight drop. Sangay, it was pushing 21 and 22, and it's down to 20. That's still huge blast. I'm telling you, it's lowering, but it lowered to 20,000 foot blast. Okay. Sabancaya, 22,000 feet. All right, let's open up this 27th here, which reminds me, we were talking about the rate of inflation has come down. Well, it makes it sound like the prices are coming down, right? No. Inflation is still inflation. It's like somebody pushing on a pump on a bicycle pump, pumping air into the tire, right? If the rate of inflation has decreased, well, that just means the guy's pumping slower, but he's still pumping. So if the rate of inflation has decreased, well, there's still inflation there. I mean, inflation hasn't disappeared yet. So it's funny how people like to word things to make it sound like good news, but we still have the problem of inflation. And we, much like the planet does, overinflated. Okay. Stromboli coming to life over here in Italy. We might start seeing some activity out of this here, venting the pressure in that region. So we read about this. 6 crater vents, 4 in the north, 2 in the south. Bursting lava, spattering phase, constructed a new steep-sided cinder cone. Okay, Ibu, 24,000 feet. That was earlier. What are you doing? Take your ad and shove my report down. What the heck was that? Did you see that? All right, back to business. 6,000 feet out of Luatolo. Semeru, 14. Popo, 18. Remember we saw 15 or 19, now 18. So Santa Guido, 14. Fuego, 15,000. Here's Sangay at 21. Reventador, 14. Sabancaya, 24,000. White Island. So we had some bigger blasts today. 24,000, 21,000. What was the other one? 18 here. And where was the other one up here? 24? Yeah, 24,000 out of Ibu. All right. Now, that was during the 27th. The first report we did was the 28th. Let me go back to that. See 28th up here. And we saw a decrease in the altitudes. Okay, so we had a big relief of pressure. There's still a relief event going on with 22 and 20 here and 19. And, there's still a lot of pressure in there being vented out, but we did see a little reduction. I just noticed a little reduction there. Hopefully you guys saw what I was trying to point out there. Now let's move on. I need the forecast model now. All right, so I'm going to let that play for a second while it loads up. And we might get a little break from these nocturnal thunderstorms. We'll see. But so far, it's still kind of showing activity at night here. But once this loads up, and then we'll go through it frame by frame there. And coming back around, bingo. Okay, so here's our big storm that moved through and caused all this chaos and stuff, finally moving out of the area. Note back here in the southern tip of Texas, right there, this little straggler still. So the nighttime of the 27th, morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime. So we're going to have another one of these events here. Depending on the indices and stuff, I think we might just have a wind effect. It'll be a lot of high wind, flash flooding, big hail and stuff. But the cap we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's been really hard to forecast this stuff now with the new player involved, the round spherical objects that are, well, let's just kind of get into it real quick. Let me pull one up over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about, because they're affecting our weather here in a way that isn't our traditional storm coverage type stuff. So just pull this up real quick, and I believe there it is. All right, you can see this round spheroid moving through the air has created a wraparound effect, and it's got this tail of twisted air coming off the back. This twisted it totally gives it away that that's what's going on. We have what looks to be electromagnetically induced sphere shape moving through the air, whether it's being caused by man or something else. I'm not saying there's a giant solid object in the air, but there is a magnetic field, round shaped, spheroid shaped magnetic field that is causing air to go up over it, condensing, causing rain, and all these patterns. These spheres, what I call these spheres, because they're round, they're three-dimensional. It's not a circle, it's a ball, it's a sphere, and it's directing weather, manipulating weather, directing it. There are different size ones. They do different functions. I've seen some that cause storms to stop and dissipate. I've seen other ones moving, collecting stuff, and then have another smaller one come in and intersect with the bigger one to pull off energy and create stuff. These things are moving like little chess pieces and directing our storms. Okay. So when I say we have another player in our weather, this is the effect I'm talking about. And it's undeniable. All right. I don't care if you guys think, oh, it's a radar glitch or whatever. I watched this unfold. I've watched it unfold several times now, and I've seen the sphere shape heading towards the city. And then hours later, no more town, no more city. It's gone. We have a new player involved in our weather. Now, maybe it's one of our enemies who's perfected weather weaponry and they're using it on us, because I don't think it's us. These storms are going over selected, very sensitive sites. Okay? And again, go listen to Mike from around the world. He repeats the same thing I'm telling you, too. I watched this one go over Fort Hood the other day, and it just decimated it with hail and a tornado, and everybody was focused on the town that was next to it. But what it really struck wasn't the town, it was Fort Hood. And the flash flooding that went along with it probably did some damage to their stuff, something's going on here. These things are almost like attacking. And you can see this smaller one down here gets a little shove. See that little shunt? Boom. That's not a gap in data. That storm just shunted and moved. There's a small one. It's clear. Right in this area, causing this bulge, that front part of the storm. You'll see air flowing over the top of it, creating condensation on the backside right up there. See that? All right. And you see the effect. When it gave that nudge, it jumped those wind speeds by like 30 miles an hour. This thing went from just a little tiny storm front into red and intense and turned into a tornado. Oh, actually, this one didn't turn into a tornado, but this one got intense right there. And you can see the motion of this sphere through the air creates these air currents. And you can see the air wrapping around the backside, this wraparound effect, all colliding in a focal point on the backside of the sphere with this twisted rope of wind that's the tail. All right, so that's the other player in the game that I'm talking about. All right, new discovery here. I seen it happen a while back, and I just could never capture a good solid capture like this. So now we've got it now, and I've captured it other times as well. Okay, so when here are my shorts. This is another one. Look at this. This is why this is important. That's a land hurricane you guys are looking at. All right, your new weather effect. And you can see there's an eye in the center of it. That would be the very top of the spheroid or the shape or whatever. Perfectly round. And that, like I said, they do different things. Some of them convect, others diminish it. Smaller ones collide with bigger ones. They dance. You'll see one sitting here going slowly, and a small one will come up and pass the bigger one so fast that it creates the rotation. It looks like a car got hit by a train, and the car spins around. These smaller ones will come up and hit the formation of clouds off to the big one. Like you see this section right here that's outside the range of the circle. See this branch of clouds? A small one will come up and collide with that and literally make it spin just from the impact itself. Just be from the speed at which the other storm came up and collided with it. All right, so we're seeing air mass collisions causing vorticity. We're seeing spheroid type effects like this in our weather. Okay, so when we go back to this forecast, and I tell you this right here, this is all subject. We'll see what happens if we have these players in the game here. This by convection, we could be seeing this. Okay, nighttime, it's gonna get nasty again. Here we go into the morning. There's still residual in the morning. Noon of the 29th, convection the 29th, nighttime. Here we go with another nighttime event, but way up here. Canadian border, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, coming on down, little spots. And these discrete supercells, these pop-ups that are individuals, those are the dangerous ones. So as long as the cap doesn't get too high and these thunderheads can't grow too tall, then we're okay. But it's when they can get really tall, then we're in trouble. So here we are, the morning of the 30th, noon, convection, nighttime. Another nighttime event on the 30th. Morning of the 31st, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 1st, noon, convection, nighttime. Nighttime of the 1st here, Texas area. I just got over it and now getting it again. So, morning of the 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime. See, we're still having this nighttime activity. Morning of the 3rd, noon, convection, nighttime. Again, with the nighttime activity, Oklahoma, Texas region. Now, let's continue. Morning of the 4th, noon, convection, nighttime. Okay, well, like 4 or 5 days in a row, we're having nighttime activity. Morning of the 5th, noon, convection, nighttime. Now up here, a little spot here, a little spot there, but that's about the clearest I've seen it in a while right there. So now let's go. Morning of the 6th, noon, convection, nighttime. Finally, nothing right there, really. Maybe a little bit up in Maine or a little pocket right there, but nothing too bad. Morning of the 7th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 8th, noon. Look at this coming in up here. Convection, nighttime. Just real quick, it's kind of out of front. There we go. Severe storm moving in on the coast up here by Seattle, British Columbia, noon time of the 8th, maybe. That's still a little far out there. All right. But just heads up, that could making landfall at the noon time. And there's the convection of the 8th. Even up, look out up here. Morning of the 9th. Okay, here we have severe weather in the morning again. See how this stuff carries over from nighttime into the morning hours now? Noon, convection, nighttime. 10th, noon, convection, nighttime. 11th, noon, convection, nighttime. 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, that's probably about the only day right there that it doesn't. So, all right, everybody, Thomas leaving? Oh, no, he's praying. Okay. Yeah, we're going to pray for you, bud. Okay, so there's your forecast. The later stuff is too far out in the future, but our main concern is tomorrow's event, all right? So we have hot temperatures down here in southern Texas already. So you're gonna have convection down there. Now there's the morning of the 28th. That's just hours away. Noon time tomorrow, we're gonna start to see activity boiling around the Oklahoma, Texas. According to this, we'll see. Depends on where our spheroid action is, I guess, or if there is any. Because some days it's all over the place, and other days there's hardly any, and some days there's none. It's kind of weird, hit and miss type thing. Now, our main thing is going to be from convection tomorrow, from sundown, afternoon, sundown time into the nighttime. All right. We're talking Dallas, Fort Worth area. A lot of people live in this region right here. And then don't forget this little patch up here. Just because it's showing two tiny little dots, this could all change. It could be this that blossoms and this and not so bad tomorrow. So it's very hit and miss. So it's very important that you monitor the weather every day. You head out to work, make sure you check your forecast, and then at lunch, stick your head out, make sure you're not getting bear down by a tornado. Then we have this event, the nighttime of the 29th, right along the foothills there. It's blurry. Is my stuff getting blurry again there? Okay, there we go. Kind of odd. It might be on your end. All right, we're going to continue. So that'll be the nighttime of the 29th. So we have tomorrow afternoon and evening right there, afternoon, evening. And then we go into the 29th, afternoon and evening right there. Morning of the 30th, possible little flare up down in there. Is everything looking a little bit better? Oh, you are leaving. Thank you for coming by, Thomas. Thank you for stopping by, dude. You can always come by and check the rest out on replay and stuff. There's still a little bit more to go, but I know people get tired this late at night, so. Yeah, my eyesight's getting blurry too. I think it's probably from it's more like sleep deprivation. No, back to where it was. So yeah, morning time of the 30th, they're still going to have some residual, but then it kind of dissipates a little bit in the convection time, and then the nighttime of the 30th. So It's still blurry, huh? Because it's showing nice and clear on my camera. Let me try to refocus again. All right, I think you guys were talking about your own eyesight because it looks pretty clear on my screen, even though my eyesight's blurry too. All right. Morning of the 31st, there is going to be something to watch as well. Noontime, convection, nighttime. So the whole day of the 31st will be an event to watch. So those are our two closest events to watch. The rest is kind of so far out there that it's kind of unpredictable. But there's the 31st, the morning of the 31st, noon, convection, nighttime of the 31st. Going into the June 1st, noon, convection, nighttime. And then the nighttime of the 1st back here. We'll watch that as we get closer to it. So we have a lot of nighttime activity to monitor here, and hopefully most of this we'll watch the cap levels and everything, make sure it doesn't go too high and we get tornadoes at night. But hopefully most of this will be just heavy rains, high winds. It's still blurry. It's your camera. That's weird because it's showing nice and clear on my side. Wonder. Did we get it back? There it is. Yay. So it was blurry that whole time? So we'll just go back through it real quick. Just quick, though. All right, so current conditions. Morning of the 28th, noon, convection. Convection tomorrow right here, Texas, Oklahoma region. That's going to be, the sundown time, and then blossoming at night. Still there, so we're going to have tomorrow night, Texas region, quite possibly going to be our focus point tomorrow night. That's strange because my little screen here, it was showing clear, so yay, thank you for letting me know. I'm always willing to take criticism, advice. Gotten problems with you guys can't see. That's the most important thing. Shit, let me know so we can get you to see. All right. I'm glad that all worked out. Now we can start closing out some instruments. We will keep this one though with our new blast here, because I'm going to talk about that a little bit here once this comes back around. Just want to pause on that frame. Come on, Lord. Right there. All right, we'll leave that sitting there like this. You guys see my little solar system up here? Yeah. All right. So we have this and we have this event. All right. Come here. Come back here, you. This event right here. Okay. Now what you're looking at is what I call Nemesis. When I first was showed this, my God, I saw the moon, the little orbiting thing that was going around at first. The fabled winged planet Nibiru. Okay. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you what I was shown. This is the day my life changed here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what wake-up call. And we'll go through that one real quick. Okay, so we go. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of boom.
Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. Run this backwards. You can see it goes backwards. There's the second flare. Back behind the sun, comes back out. There's the first flare. So the mass of that object is sucking material off of our sun, causing these solar flares. Boom, right there. Comes back behind the sun. Comes back out. Second flare.
All right, during that series right there, there were 3 big objects. This was the third one right here. You saw the one just prior to it, right there. And then the original blast was right back here. So there were 3, it seemed 3 in a row back then. And this was in 2017. This is the day my life changed. Everything turned upside down, backward, forward, and even inside out. So there is your what I refer to as Nemesis and the other satellite, Nibiru. Okay, and then here we've captured it again, and this was April back in 2023. So it's not just one pass or 2 passes or one object. There seems to be multiple of them out there, almost as if these things are a set point in space and we're going around them. Because astrophysics would dictate something much bigger than the sun would hold, the sun would be rotating around it instead of this rotating around the sun. So we'll all depends on what the true mass of this thing is, or the other ones as well. Okay, so we have that right there, and then we can start getting rid of volcano, we can get rid of forecast and the earthquakes and all that stuff. And then we'll get into our spiritual report, okay? Because when we're up against interstellar activity, this is beyond your control, okay? This is God's domain here, right? He controls the heaven and the earth, right? So it's important that when we see stuff like this that we kind of get back into our spiritual routine here. So I just pull up a couple of images real quick for us to read to. No, we'll do the actual video on that one. There it is. Nope. There it is. Damn.
Where are they coming from?
Today we saw
They're coming from the sky, dude.
but the real mystery, what's
All right, cool. There's Jesus pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart right there. Don't ask me why he's wearing sunglasses. Probably pretty bright out there by the sun, so might need some sunglasses. But you can see he's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out these waves. They're, creating my face in the sky. And there's a crown kind of hiding in this too, okay? It's kind of weird. It's hard to see, but Jesus is pulling open his shirt and his heart's projecting my face wearing a crown in the clouds. All right? And when this was happening to me, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Imagine if this was happening to you and you would probably lose your mind. You go, what? And then to have nobody believe you either would just be even more so. I'm tormented by this stuff every day. It follows me everywhere I go. This activity in the clouds, UFOs, following me, ascended masters, watching every single move I make. Races from, advanced races from the past that follow me everywhere I go, watch every single move I make. Because of who I am. And we'll get rid of those. And we'll put up another one. What's another good picture? Oh yeah, this one here. And we're gonna do the video too, just for a second. It's important that we rehash this video too. I think it's important that we got somebody here to see this here.
I lost it. There it is.
Started investigating going after this face on the moon thing. I think I misunderstood it in the beginning.
But then I found the video and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? So let's just check this out. Let's take a look at this. So,
It is February 28th, 29th, 28th, 29th. I have got me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky. And holy moly, I am scared. I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing for a while now. It's very ominous. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's a huge face.
what is that?
Looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter. There he is. There's the moon. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture in on the moon like it's supposed to. Is my hand in front of the thing or something? All right, here we go.
He's zooming way in. That's
There it is.
out by the moon. It's not in the clouds.
Look at that.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
What is that?
Oh, it makes it so clear.
That's my face, James. That's me, dude. My face now showing up out by the moon. Crazy stuff. But, well,
Might tell us.
I'm not the only one that's capturing this stuff, all right? Other people are capturing this as well, all right? Now, I'm not like a, oh, look at me, I'm an important person, oh, this is blah, blah, blah. No, I'm trying to tell you, I recognize my own face in the sky, and it's kind of disturbing until you figure out what's going on, and then all of a sudden, for me, it makes sense. For some of you that are still here, makes sense as well. That's why you're still here, because we're getting into our reading. So let me get that just right. I want this out of the way. There we go. So there's my face out by the moon. We can get rid of that. Okay, here's my face with a crown projected by Jesus' heart. And here's my face with a crown as well, captured on Easter of 2020. Okay, on Easter, 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter, not on a Tuesday, not on Friday, not, Cinco de Mayo. Nope, on Easter, this event happened. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. All right. And luckily I was there to catch it. Well, now it just happens all the time, so I don't even bother documenting it anymore. I have to go on with my life. Okay, so while you're looking at that, yeah, I gotta take a couple of deep breaths myself. I've had a rough day. Memorial Day is always a rough day for me. Would love to go into it, but I'd probably offend a bunch of you people. So we're just going to appreciate the sacrifice our veterans gave their life so we could have freedom. Well, another person, too, gave their life so that you could have freedom. Okay? This is a warrior, not an the sense that it goes around with the gun shooting people, but he is a warrior in the sense of doing what's even tougher, the spiritual battle. Okay, so okay, let me get a little bit better light. So when I'm just about to get into these notes, I'm got my book light all shining down on my notes here. I'm looking down, starting to read, and I look just like that right there. A light is shining on my face just like that as I'm looking down at you. So when you look at that, I am involved in each moment of your life. I have carefully mapped out every inch of your journey through each day, even though much of it may feel haphazard. Because the world is in a fallen condition, things have always seemed to be unraveling around the edges. Expect to find trouble in each day. At the same time, trust that my way is perfect, even in the midst of such messy imperfection. Stay conscious of me as you go through each day, remembering that I never leave your side. Let the Holy Spirit guide you step by step, protecting you from unnecessary trials and equipping you to get through whatever must be endured. Okay, this is an endurance test. You're going to need to pace yourself and focus on the necessary and the unnecessary. So stay conscious of me as you go through each day. Remember that I'm always by your side. Let the Holy Spirit guide you step by step, protecting you from unnecessary trials. A lot of these trials are necessary. You're learning, you're growing from them, but some of them are unnecessary, okay? Especially the ones you put yourself through. I'm like, what are you doing? This isn't a trial for you. And you're like, no, I insist on putting myself through this trial. I'm like, okay, it's unnecessary, but listen to the Holy Spirit. Let it guide you step by step and keep you from unnecessary trials, protecting you from these unnecessary trials. And it also is equipping you to get through whatever must be endured. This is an endurance race. So as you trudge through the sludge of this fallen world, keep your mind in heavenly places with me. Thus the light of my presence shines on you, giving you peace and joy that circumstances cannot touch. Okay? So what if the world falls apart? It still does not outshine my presence. My presence shines on you, giving you peace and joy that just transcends all your circumstances. And when you know that, and when you understand that, you can finally relax in my healing, holy presence. Okay, the word holy means set aside for sacred purpose. It doesn't mean you're a perfect law-abiding Jesus, Bible-thumping perfectionist. No. The word holy means you have been set aside for a sacred purpose. So if you're here at this channel, you are aside on a sacred purpose. You would make you holy right now. Okay? So relax in my healing, holy presence. Be still while I transform your heart and mind. Let go of the cares and worries so that you can receive my peace. Let go of those cares and worries and receive my peace. Cease striving and know that I am God. Do not be like the Pharisees who multiplied regulations, creating their own form of godliness. They got so wrapped up in their own rules and their own laws that they lost sight of me and freedom. The opposite of law is freedom. You guys write so many laws, you're lawing yourself right out of freedom. This is the law. I'm the law. There's man-made laws are just being manipulated, warped, and twisted and used against you. My law rules. My law is healing. My law brings courage and hope and peace. Okay? So when you guys get all these regulations and all your own forms of law, that's your own form of godliness. And you get so wrapped up in these rules, regulations, and laws that you lost sight of me, and now you lost sight of your freedom. I hate to say it on this day, but you have. Even today, man-made rules about how to live and how to live the, quote, Christian life enslave many people. Their focus is on their performance rather than on me. Everybody's focus is on them, me, my performance, me. We have the most selfish society these days. And if you can break free from that selfishness, that self-centered focus on you, and quit focusing on your performance, focus rather on me, and you will find that peace. It's through knowing me intimately that you become like me. This requires spending time alone with me, letting go, relaxing, being still. Okay? So, let go, relax, be still, and know that I am God. Look around. There's wars, rumors of wars. Look all over the place. Look up, look up. Look up away from your phones. Look up in the sky, into the clouds. You will see me coming in the clouds. This is me coming in the clouds right here. Okay? The word rapture, so many people are going to be so disappointed when they don't float up into the air like Hollywood portrayed. The term is caught up. Caught up does not mean lifted up off the ground into the clouds. The term caught up is like being caught up in a good song, caught up in a good book, caught up in the moment. When you see something so weird and fascinating, you're studying it, you're just mouth open, you're caught up in it. This is me in the clouds, and you are caught up with me in the clouds. And if you're caught up with me in the clouds, and you've met me in the air of cyberspace here, live on YouTube, you have been raptured. Quote, your term, raptured. It's a feeling inside you now. I have completed your faith. You now have knowing. It doesn't take away your faith, it completes it. Now, when you understand this, I want to be central in your entire being. When your focus is firmly on me, my peace displaces fears and worries. Fears and worries, they will encircle you, seeking entrance, so you must stay alert. Let trust and thankfulness stand guard. Ever tried that before? Instead of letting these fears and worries encircle you, let trust and thankfulness stand guard. Okay, when they're standing guard, turning back fear before it can gain a foothold. So, before this fear can gain a foothold, you want to turn it back. How do you turn it back? Well, you got trust and thankfulness standing guard, turning back fear before it can gain a foothold. There is no fear in my love. There is no fear in my love. Okay? No fear in my love. And, I have that perfect where to go. Okay, so again, trustfulness and thankfulness, stand guard, turning back fear, and there is no fear in my love, which shines on you continually. Well, holy shit, look at this. My love shines on you continually. How cool is that? And once you have understood that and you trust me, then sit quietly in my loving light, in my loving presence, while I bless you with radiant peace. Turn your whole being to trusting and loving me. It's for your own good. It makes you feel better now that you know prayers have been answered, miracles are happening. The real deal is here now. You're going to be okay. I've been here, done this. You're guaranteed victory. It's already been won. Okay? You're just learning how to catch up to this. So, we're going to go through some rough times. We're going to hit these challenging times. These are testing times, okay? Shaping and molding and building character through challenging times, okay? So welcome challenging times as opportunities to trust me. You have me beside you and my spirit within you, so no set of circumstances is too much for you to handle. Okay? I know it hurts sometimes, we complain sometimes, but no set of circumstances is too much for you to handle. So when the path before you is dotted with difficulties, beware of measuring your strength against those challenges, because that's what we do. We measure our strength. The first thing we do is we see the challenges and we go, oh God, am I going to have the strength to do that? Beware of measuring your strength against your challenges. That calculation is certain to riddle you with anxiety, doesn't it? When you start measuring your strength against the challenges you see, it gives you anxiety. And without me, you wouldn't make it past the first hurdle. So the way to walk through demanding days is to grip my hand tightly and stay in close communication with me. Let your thoughts and spoken words be richly flavored with trust and thankfulness again. And then, regardless of the day's problems, I can still keep you in perfect peace as long as you stay close to me. Okay? Now we're talking about the step work and stuff. When you catch yourself getting upset, I know it's hard to stop, but my favorite thing to do is, God, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting irritated. The problems of the world, the difficulties of the world are getting to me because I'm not looking through the challenging lens. I'm looking through the selfish lens. So help me see it as the challenge again, Lord. Oh, there we go. Now I feel better. I realize it's just the challenge. It's not personal. It's to perfect you. And when you welcome those challenges, instead of dreading challenges, now you're welcoming them. Well, if you welcome a challenge, there's no way it can give you anxiety if you welcome it. It's when you fear it and dread it, that's what gives you anxiety. So it's just a different frame of mind, really. Welcome it. See what happens when you welcome it. It loses all kinds of power. when you welcome challenging times as opportunities, you can't go wrong. You can't. You just grow and get stronger. Okay? And the way to make it through these demanding days is to grip my hand tightly and stay in close communication with me. Okay? A lot of praying. Thoughts, you can speak them out loud. So what if people think you're talking to yourself? Everybody's got a Bluetooth in their ear talking to themselves anyway. So you might as well speak out loud because your own ears hear you speaking out loud. That reinforces deeper into your mind and heart. Okay? So walk through demanding days, holding my hand tightly, staying in communication. Let your thoughts and spoken words be flavored with trust and thankfulness, because when you're looking through the lens of thankfulness, all of a sudden things aren't so bad. And regardless of the day's problems, I can keep you in perfect peace as long as you stay close to me. Okay? And you can stay in perfect peace. It's not easy. Wow, it sounds easy, but it is hard to do. Okay, that's why we keep practicing this over and over until it becomes second nature. Until the moment it's so second nature that the moment something comes up, you won't even be frazzled. You'll just be like, "Yep, that's my challenge right there. I'm already on it. I welcomed it." And it lost its power, and that challenge was pretty easy. You overcame it, and what was going to be this big monster of anxiety became a victory, a spiritual achievement. Okay? Spiritual achievements. We are in the salvage industry. We salvage our days. We do not let things ruin our day. Remember that you live in a fallen world, and it's an abnormal world tainted by sin. Much of your frustration and failure results from your seeking perfection in this life. Quit seeking perfection in this life, in this fallen world. There is nothing perfect in this world except me. And that is why closeness to me satisfies those deep yearnings and fills you with true joy, real peace. I have planted longing for perfection in every human heart. What's planted in every human heart? The longing for perfection. Why is it there? Because I have planted the longing for perfection in every human heart. Every human heart has this longing for perfection. Okay, you do. It's good to have that longing for perfection. That's what keeps you hungry. All right? But it's not about perfection, it's progress rather than perfection. So there is nothing perfect in this world except me, and that's why closeness to me satisfies your yearnings and fills you with joy. I have planted that longing for perfection in your heart. It's a good desire, which I alone can fulfill. Okay, your desire for perfection is good because I am the one that can fulfill it. But most people seek this fulfillment in other people, and especially in earthly pleasures and achievements and material wealth, property, cars, you name it. Okay, most people seek fulfillment in other people, earthly pleasures, achievement, and materialistic wealth. They create idols before which they bow down, don't they? These things, these earthly pleasures, these achievements, these other people become their idols, and they end up kowtowing to them, which is bowing down Thus they create idols before which they bow down, and I will have no other gods before me. So make me the deepest desire of your heart, and let me fulfill your yearning for perfection. Pretty cool, huh? A lot of hard work went into this. A lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. Seek my face, and you will find fulfillment of those deepest longings that I put in you. Your desire, your longings we were talking about. When you seek my face, you will find fulfillment of your deepest longings. My world is filled with beautiful things. They are meant to be pointers to me. Beautiful things meant to be pointers to me. Okay? They're reminders of my abiding presence. Okay? So, the world is filled with beautiful things. They're meant to be pointers to me. They're reminders of my abiding presence. There's a reminder right there of my abiding presence, isn't it? Oh, well, shoot, look. There's another reminder of my abiding presence. Oh, look. Over here. Here's another reminder of my abiding presence. Oh, shoot, you can come here, and I got a whole friggin' channel of reminders of my abiding presence with you. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Now, when you see these reminders of my abiding presence, realize the earth still declares my glory to those who have eyes that see and ears that hear. That would be you. Yep, that would be you. So, when you look around this world and finally see with new eyes this beautiful reminders of my abiding presence, then you will see the earth is declaring my glory to those who have the eyes that see and the ears that hear. That's you. You had a darkened mind before you sought me wholeheartedly. You didn't know it. You thought you were doing good. You measured your performance, right? And when you were measuring your performance, you had a darkened mind before you sought me wholeheartedly. You got to seek me wholeheartedly, because if you don't, then you're doubting, and then you're not getting all the benefits. Because there's real benefits to come when you trust me wholeheartedly. Because I choose to pour my light into you. Are you getting this? I choose to pour my light into you so that you become a beacon to others. Okay? I'm not just pouring it into you for no reason. It's so that now you can become a beacon to others. There is no room for pride in this position, and your part is to reflect my glory, because I am the Lord. Okay? I am the Lord. Look around. It's my face. You see my face shining upon you out by the moon? How'd Hollywood do that one, huh? Because it's not Hollywood doing it. It's me. Seek my face, and you will find fulfillment of your deepest longings. I love you all. I miss you all. Congratulations, you all. This is real, by the way. Count on it. Count on it like you count on your paycheck coming at the end of your pay period. You are about to receive victory. Just endure some more, okay? This is an endurance race. You are a participant in the race. Everybody else is on the sidelines. They're the cheerleaders cheering you on. You're the runner who has a number on their shirt. You are a participant in this race, which means you will be getting, well, participation trophy kind of when you finish the race, right? Okay, so I'm sorry, Cindy, you had to work. It's all right, sweetie. I'm still here. We missed you, but it's okay. You can watch it back through replay and stuff. Anyways, it's important to know your position now. I fill you with light so you can be a beacon to others. They're going to need you. Okay? We're on a team here. We're going to bring peace and hope, strength and courage to others in the time that they need it the most. Okay? You're truly blessed here. You truly are. But it's a blessing of work. Okay? It's not like you just got the lottery and a bunch of money. No, you won the lottery by a new mission now. Okay? You're on a mission from God. For real. And I love you. And I miss you. And I'll see you soon. I will be back. I told you 2,000 years ago I would be back when you see this. When you see wars and rumors of wars, and you see earthquakes in diverse places, and you see all of these things happening in the same time, you will know you're in that season. When you recognize you're in that season, look up, because you will see something happening in your clouds. You will see me in your clouds. You'll see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. And when you see that, you get caught up with it. It's so fascinating. You get caught up with me in the clouds. And now you've met me in the air, live on YouTube, in cyberspace. You have been technically raptured. You have a new spirit within you. I have completed your faith. You now have knowing or knowledge. With knowledge comes wisdom. Wisdom is knowing what to do with such knowledge. Now that you have the knowledge, find the wisdom to pray for the wisdom to know what to do with this knowledge. And it will come to you, and you will be helping people. Okay? I love you all. I miss you all. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I am still to come. Bye.